Tuesday chats with Jakey and the boys. We're going to address the elephant in the room, hybrid training. Is it really a thing, or is it just a made-up internet game? Are we playing games out here? But no, man, obviously it's fairly new in terms of being branded as hybrid training, but it just means you're pulling in different directions. You're getting a bigger chest and arms, developing your physique, growing muscle tissue on your upper body is not going to speed you up at a half marathon distance. It's just, we've just got to accept that, man. And that is a huge problem if you're trying to compete in the Olympics at as a half marathon distance runner. But for me and you, the normal guys, it's absolutely no problem. And look, man, I've done it in different ways. I've done it where you just concentrate on your resistance training and basically hacking your NEAT levels, doing a high step count. I've done it like that, man. And it works. I've got good results from that. But the reason I sort of fell into it, I basically... Let's take it back to how sort of I fell into this kind of training. First off, I basically switched from like a bodybuilder style training to like calisthenics. And then I really like the calisthenics side of things, but I also wanted to keep some of the bodybuilding stuff. So there, I was sort of looking for a name for that. And I came across that being like hybrid. And then because I was sort of labeling that hybrid, other hybrid topics kept coming up on my algorithm where guys were been concentrating on endurance and resistance training, strength training at the same time. And then I started to see like, yeah, that is another way of describing that kind of training. And then obviously I moved out here, borrowed my wife's uncle's mountain bike and just wanted to explore the local area. So I was just cruising around, man, and I was just burning through the calories. I had like an old smartwatch which was just like a step counter, but it tracked your calories as well, what you burnt through the day. And I was going on these mad like 2-hour rides just looking around and burning through like 1,500 2,000 calories. And at the time I was like just coming back from a little niggle, and I wanted to basically gain some muscle tissue back that I potentially had lost. So I was doing that plus the bike rides and thinking, I'm gonna have to refuel this, I'm gonna have to put some fuel back in the tank. But fast forward like 5-6 months just exploring this area on the bike, I was feeling fitter. And again, probably previously neglected the cardio side of things. In fact, I say neglected, I was one of those guys who was like, look, you don't have to do cardio. You don't have to do cardio. All you have to do is just track your steps. Just do some steps and your resistance training. You can get lean. You can get in shape. And that is true, man. You can do that. And I did do that. But you can't really put a price on feeling fit. It's, like I say, after that 6 months of just cruising around on that mountain bike, just basically in zone 2, I felt absolutely fantastic. My resistance training felt better. I was performing better in the gym. I was obviously burning through a lot of calories, and it was helping me sort of maintain a lean composition. Also gaining the muscle tissue back that I'd potentially lost from a little break and an injury. And I was just like, this is it, man. This is what I want to do. This I'm feeling better. I'm looking just as good. And the variety and like just looking forward to getting out on the bike 2-3 times a week and just having a look round was like, yeah, man, the variety within that was fantastic. And then from there, it just evolved. Fast forward, I got a road bike and I'm on the road just doing like some brutal sessions, feeling fitter, feeling stronger, lent in towards a little bit of running, thought I'd pull that back. And yeah, that's it, man. And honestly, like I say, I've done it different ways. Man. And I just saw, with my whole like training journey, career, whatever you want to call it, I literally just try whatever piques my interest and keep what works, keep what I enjoy, and just create something around that. Obviously, this kind of like timed it well where it's hybrid training, hybrid athlete training has become a little bit more popular recently. But again, it's as humans, we want to like be part of a group, don't we? We want to say like, oh, I'm a hybrid athlete, or I'm a CrossFitter, or I'm a bodybuilder, or whatever it is. It's natural for humans to sort of create groups. And again, the negative of that is like anybody trying to get into your group and they don't sort of fit a certain criteria, they can't bench press 180 kilograms and run a marathon in sub 3 hours. you're like, no, you're not allowed in this group, man. You're not allowed in this group. Yeah, that's where I don't like that kind of sort of vibe, if that's the right word for that. I guess vibe. I don't like using the word vibe, but that's all I've got, man. But yeah, like I say, man, it's, for me, once I sort of realised I can incorporate cardio, CV training, and still maintain my physique and actually improve it as well, I was like, happy days. I'm on this, because I feel 10 times better. I feel better than I can remember. I was pushing like 28, 29, and I felt like I was like 18 again with the fitness. So it's something that, like I say, I hand on heart, 100% believe that a hybrid training approach where you're intentional with your CV plus your resistance training is the best for the normal person, the average man, to get the best final product in terms of results. Like I said, you just strip it down to the basics, man, where if you want to get lean, if you want to have a lean muscular physique, you need to build your muscle tissue, which just takes time. There's no getting away from that. That can take 3-5 years, whatever it is. But once you've got that base, in order to get lean, you've just got to strip it down to the energy balance basics. And if you want to get, like, obviously we can get in decent nick, decent shape, decent composition with like a relatively, like I say, you're doing whatever, 150 minutes of CV or 15,000 steps per day. 12,000 steps is what seems to pop up online, like, to get you in a lean composition. But if you want to take it to the next level and get like shredded, there's no getting away from the fact that the energy balance equation has to be like drastically skewed, where you're in a significant deficit and you're managing that deficit all the way down to where you do get really, really lean. And there's no getting away from that. When I get into like my leanest compositions, my best shape, you need that equation is difficult to maintain, if that makes sense. When I was doing it through steps, it was 25,000 steps per day, every day, for like 12, 16 weeks. And there's no getting away from that. You have to hit that target. And again, who's got time for that? Now I've got 2 kids. There's no chance in doing that. Absolutely no chance. So a good way to sort of offset that is CV training, in terms of the time it takes, the enjoyment that you get from it, how you feel, and the variety as well, like running, swimming, cycling. You can maintain a leaner composition through the variety, and being just, like I say, man, just being intentional with your CV and being a hybrid athlete or training in a hybrid way doesn't mean you've got to suddenly just jump on a marathon prep or something like that. It's as simple as taking what you're doing with your resistance training now, maybe knocking the volume down ever so slightly, and having like 1 or 2 intentionally programmed CV sessions, if that's running, cycling or swimming, whatever you want to do. Just have a target within your CV training. And then for me, if you're being intentional with your CV work, you're in the club, man. You're in the hybrid club, whatever that is. So again, nobody really cares, hybrid athlete, hybrid training, whatever it is. It's really irrelevant, man. It's stripping it down to the basics. What's going to make you look, feel and perform your best. And that's, when I say perform, as like a dad or husband or whatever, just, you know what it's like, man. I know I do. 2 kids running around, well, 1 running around at the minute, and if you're unfit and not functional, they're gonna run rings around you, man. They're gonna leave you in, they're gonna run rings around you and tie you in knots. So you need to get fit, man, and strong, especially as you get older. I think what you see the memes online where like you hit 30 and all of a sudden you want to like start running and stuff like that. And that's because typically you're having kids, you're getting older, and you can feel the effects of just basically being an absolute slug for 10 years through your 20s. And again, man, we don't want that. We don't want that. My spotlights run out, man, so the lighting's not as good. But yeah, hopefully, I just thought I'd address that because I use it a lot in my YouTube titles. I use it to basically grow this channel and get some traction in that regards. But it's not, for me, it's not as serious as that, man. Again, we're just guys who like training, you know what I mean? And we've just got to find, all of us have just got to find a way of training that works for us in terms of or set up with lifestyle, work, etc. Something that we can do consistently, and something that obviously makes you feel good. That's the number one thing, man. There's nothing better than getting back into training and noticing that you're feeling better. That's what you're looking for. Then obviously how you look beyond that, how you're performing, and that's what you want, man. That's all you want. Don't worry about being like the most hybrid man on the planet. Just get enjoying your training, and if that is just bodybuilding and walking around doing steps, happy days. But yeah, I just thought I'd address this one this week, guys. Hopefully, yeah, like I say, any questions, anything you want me to cover, just drop it below, man, and we'll cover it. So yeah, Tuesday's chats with Jakey and the boys. I know there's some girls. I know my mum's a girl, so that's one. But I know there's a couple of others as well. So bless you. Drop a like for the algo. See you next week, man.